Welcome everyone. This is Tracy Wagner with Versatile Inspirations, and today we are going to be looking into the mortality illusion. So let me start the screen share and we'll get started. Fabulous. All right. So what is the mortality illusion? Well, let's kind of take that down. Mortality by dictionary.com's definition means the state or condition of being subject to death, or also mortal beings collectively, humanity. So you are technically, by being here on Earth and what people think of as mortal. So illusion by dictionary.com's definition means something that deceives by producing a false or misleading impression of reality. And my biggest one right there is misleading impression. Also, a perception as a visual stimuli that represents what is perceived in a way different from the way it is in reality, kind of like an optical illusion. So that is what the mortality illusion refers to. Just like an optical illusion, you may think it could be one thing, but in reality, it's something else. So when you look at an optical illusion, what happens is it may be solid, it may be a 2D representation or a picture, but when you look at it, something happens. Either your eye can, just by moving your head a little bit, it changes from something into another thing, or on an optical illusion, what happens is it's just a 2D, and just because of the way that your eyes are moving, it looks like it is moving, when in actuality, it's just sitting right there. Another illusion I used, because I thought it was just the coolest thing, was actually looking like I was capturing the sun, and I used that for my logo for a long time. So it's just an optical illusion. It looks like I'm holding the sunset in the palm of my hand, when in actuality, there's no way I could really do that here. So it's just an optical illusion, just from me holding my hand out, and the way that my husband captured the sunset, it just looked like I was holding on to the sunset. Also, there's some people that are really talented that can draw or capture what looks like, even though it's on a 2D plane, even if it's on just a plain old road or a sidewalk, they can make it look like it is 3D, like in the middle of a street, there is a waterfall that you could just walk right into. It looks that real. But it's not. It's just an optical illusion. And these are just ways that the illusions happen even with us in our everyday lives. We know that it possibly can't really happen necessarily. It's not really real how you're seeing it, how you're observing it. It's just that's how your mind interprets it. That's how it looks like it is being rendered. So, as if we are looking at ourselves, sometimes our human beings worry about when we go through the transition or we die. And in the cute representation, what would happen if a ghost were to worry about transitioning into human? And I mean, it's kind of funny, because once we do transition, we see how funny that really is, because when we are spirit, when we are conjoined back, our soul self and our spirit self combined back into our divine spirit self, we realize the limitless that it truly is right now, because we've just had just that patterning of not believing in things, or believing that we're limited somehow, or that we're not enough somehow. We've fallen away from those ideas that we are limitless, that we can do and be anything that we truly want to be, and that we are really spiritual beings that can attain anything and everything that we put our minds to it. So even though it's kind of silly to think that we worry so much about transitioning, that we really forget to do the living. That's kind of an illusion of itself. We are so programmed and patterned into thinking that death has a hold over us, that it just is dangling that idea, just ready to, I mean, just by your fingertips, that they can just let go and then it's all over. When in actuality, that's far from the truth. But we have been programmed and patterned to think that way. So it's definitely not anything, that's not your fault. It's not something that we come to earth thinking about. It's just that's how we see things. And I think a lot of times that's how people get, how we think of maybe getting things done, is that, we are only here for a short period of time, so we need to get it done and get it done now, when we actually are limitless beings. And so we have a limitless amount of time. We can come back and do more, but to experience the fullness of life, it is kind of nice to get things done now. If we can, we should, and we should do. So a lot of times what happens is that we see this door, we see that this is the only way through, we have to go through this door, that there's just this limited amount of space that we can fit through, that maybe we are limited by something, anything, just put a thing to that, and we're limited. We can't achieve more than just going through this door. When in actuality, the door is the illusion itself. There really is, there's a door, but around the door, I mean, it's just a door. There's no substance to it except for the perception that you place on it. You can take that door and move it away, and it's basically the exact same thing. You can pretend to walk through that door or actually walk through that door, but the fact of the matter is that limitless space is always there, always has been, and always will be. So when we see ourselves getting older, that's a mortality illusion. When we go from thinking of ourselves back into a baby and wishing we were that baby again so we could do our life over again, that's a mortality illusion. What we are really, truly are spiritual. Our soul self is just as energetic and alive as our spirit self. And I know a lot of people have heard that saying, that the mind is there, but the body can't do it when we get older. The fact is you've probably seen 90-year-old people doing yoga, running marathons. So it is truly a mortality illusion. You can do, be, have anything. You are limitless. And as soon as we change our mind concept from that illusion into the truth, then we're just going to be a lot freer while we're here on earth. So that mortality illusion, that there's a death, is actually an illusion. That mortality, that our body dies and that's it, is a complete and total illusion. It may look like that from our standpoint, but the energetic body lives on. It lives on in spirit, as where it started, where it originated, although it never really originated, because what always has been always will be. Energy. complete and total. Even though you transition from this life to another life, or from this life to back to spirit, you are divine source spirit. You are the embodiment of that soul self and that spirit self combining to become that divine energetic being that you truly, truly are. So what if? That's a scary thing for the mortality of life. That what if we are never ending? What if nothing is dead? What if all is alive? What if life is eternal, never starting, never stopping, always will be? What if? It's a very interesting thought, isn't it? Well, Pierre Teilhard de Chardin actually says we are not human beings having a spiritual experience, though it may seem that way. That was my, though it seems that way. But we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Total and complete. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, not vice versa. That's not how it originated. Our original being is divine. And that's what your soul and spirit go back in together to form, is that divine being again. And if you truly believe the statement by Pierre, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. If you truly believe that, then you should believe that you are, that I am. You are unique, you are aware, you're valuable, connected, secure. You are enough. You are spiritual, you are limitless, always have been and always will be. You are magical. You can do, be, and have anything. You are love incarnate. Love, unconditional love. So, in reality, mortality is an illusion. Fabulous. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that little idea of the mortality illusion. Just realize that you truly are a limitless being. There are no limits to what you can do, have, or be. It's just all an illusion. Death is an illusion. It's the biggest illusion. We don't normally think of the birthing process as being an illusion, because it seems to be a joyous occasion, because it's the start of life in a lot of people's minds. But in actuality, we're just starting this particular human experience. And when we transition back into spirit, it's not a death, it's the transition that we go through to go back into our original state of being, which is divine. Thank you so much for taking some time with me today. I hope you have a fabulous day. And as always, I'm sending you and yours love, light, and eternal blessings. Take care.